So welcome to the behind the scenes of my 2025 Christmas light show. So starting up here, this is the button that's typically on the street out in front of the house. The people wanting to watch the show can push that button there, and that sends a wireless transmission back to a receiver here. This cuts down on the show running and bothering the neighbors when nobody's out there watching it. So that wireless transmitter goes back to my command center here. This antenna on the side is the receiver for that, and then it goes up to this relay box here, which communicates with an input pup that's down underneath this black surface here, and then that communicates to the software to to trigger a song in the show. I run S6 of Light-O-Rama Showtime software on the laptop there, and then this is a Wi-Fi extender that I use in bridge mode to provide Wi-Fi, better Wi-Fi reception down here. Also underneath that black plastic is a 8-port PoE network switch. So coming out here to the show, first controller here is a 16-channel AC light controller from Light-O-Rama that runs all the AC lights on about this half of the house. So then coming out here to this tree, that big box on the bottom here is a 32-channel RGB pixel controller from Experience Lights that runs this tree and the pixels on most of this half of the house. Up top here is a Easy Light linker from Light-O-Rama. This communicates with some AC light controllers in the windows upstairs, and those drive some candy canes. And then down here on the bottom is one of the Dragon outdoor network switches from Matos Designs that's run on PoE, so the big PoE switch inside my command center is able to power that, and then this distributes the Ethernet both to my 32-channel controller and my PixieLink that's over here. From Light-O-Rama, and the PixieLink converts over to RS-485 for the Pixie controllers I have out here, as well as the AC light controllers. So coming over here to this island, I have a Pixie 2 controller underneath the bush there that powers the C pixel lights that are in that bush, as well as the C9 lights that are around the perimeter. In this outdoor enclosure here, I have a Rolls FM transmitter I got from Sweetwater, and then I try to use these cable ramps where I can, just to prevent trip hazards. I have the Chroma Glow presents from Biscoyo out here underneath this Christmas tree as well. The Star Topper is also from Biscoyo. And then I 3D printed a couple mounts here and up there. Then used just a piece of aluminum stock from Menards to make my own tree topper. This whole tree is the small tilt-up tree from Matos Designs. And then it also has the Kraken Flex lights in there, which those have been pretty reliable, and I really like the way that those look. So coming out here, each one of the bushes is wrapped in white lights, as well as C pixels. So that bush has both in them. And then coming up here, I used the permanent RGB track lighting and made, I call them pixel power poles here, along with a blinder up top there, and I really like the way those look. Then up along the gutter line on the top, we have just LED C9 lights, and then underneath I have the RGB C9 pixel lights. So the C9 lights along the sidewalk continue down in front of this bed. I have a pretty good size nativity scene here. I have RGB lights and warm white floodlights distributed throughout the front here of the nativity scene. I really like the way the warm white lights look, and the normal RGB floods don't give me that look, so I use two right now to get that effect. And then this casts a shadow up on the brick wall here behind the nativity scene, which looks really nice. And then I have this star here, which is rope lights, and that's warm white and looks nice at night. And then each of these wreaths has white lights and pixels wrapped in them as well. Then out here in front of the yard, or in front of the nativity scene, I have a fan. I know it's hard to see with the snow, but there's some ground pixels from Wally's, and there is 14 ground strands out here, and they're run by two Light-O-Rama Pixie 8 controllers that I custom built for this purpose. And those are out there. So over here, that's a CMB 24D from Light-O-Rama, and that runs the floodlights down behind the nativity scene, so I can control the color of this wall separate from the color being shown onto the nativity scene. Over here I have the 50-watt floods from Light-O-Rama. Those work really well since it's 2 stories here with the red brick. And then you can also see the permanent year-round floodlights there. I just like to add the 50 watts for Christmas because you get a much better color wash on the house. So these bushes still also have the pixels and the white lights mixed in, which look nice. I got these new this year. These are just plain warm white LED lights. I really like the way those look. Then there's also a wreath on this window. So I got 2 over there, 1 here, then 1 over on the side here. So coming over, I have another 50-watt flood, another 16-channel AC controller from Light-O-Rama, and then there's a 16-channel controller by Experience Lights there. I have another cable ramp here because I run more of those ground lights down along the sidewalk and then down along the front of both, and I really like the way that looks. So on the porch here we have one of the golden retriever blow molds from Home Depot, and a lantern that I wrap the little fairy lights in. I like the way that looks. We have a floodlight down here that illuminates this area at night, and then there's garland wrapped on this pole here with some of the Kraken flex lights mixed in. These look really nice as a way to mix in, and it makes them more visible than just traditional pixels. Then on the portico I have the RGB C9 lights below, and then the LED warm white ones above. This column's also done the same way. Coming over here I have 5 of the small Biscoyo trees with the Inspire light shows 3D printed mounts, and that supports both the bottom here, then there's a piece of EMT that comes up, more support here, and then a mount for the topper for the trees, and those are really sturdy. I like the way those look. And then I pounded in a piece of rebar to set the EMT over, and we've had pretty strong winds and those haven't budged. Moving back there's another 16-channel controller from Experience Lights, and that controls most of this portion of the house, as well as a 50-watt RGB flood that illuminates this corner. Then you've probably seen throughout, I have some of these warm white strobes dispersed along the back, and those look real cool as well. I got another PixieLink back here for this side. Both these bushes have warm white and RGB lights in them. Another 50-watt flood back there. Then I mirrored the setup on the other side with 2 Biscoyo presents here and a small tilt-up tree from Matos Designs. This also has a 32-channel controller from Experience Lights, and that controls this tree and then most of this half. Same star topper with the Evo pixels, which have been pretty cool. Then over here both or all three of those bushes are just on warm white lights, as well as just warm white lights on the roof there, and then some garland on the trellis back there. I continued the C9 lights bordering this bed over here. One last thing over here, I like to stake all my lights together just so it looks nice. It doesn't look so much like a rat's nest. When you see the wires, they look cleaner, less of a tripping hazard as well. So then there's two trees here. These are all wrapped in AC white lights all the way up. They're run by a 4-channel AC Light-O-Rama controller here, and then I have some of the Wally's waterfall lights. There's 8 in each tree, and those are run via a 4-channel RGB Pixie controller from Light-O-Rama, and then I just run the T's in there, and so 2 of each type are duplicated up there, as well as I have a flood down here to illuminate the trunk, and then a 50-watt flood up here to illuminate the canopy, and that looks really cool. I like the way that looks. And then also to bring some more height to these trees, I have some of these some of those balls up there that are warm white, and those look really nice at night, and it just brings more height to it. I got those from Christmas Light Emporium, I believe. So then this is the other tree. Control wise, it's set up the same. I have a light down here to illuminate the trunk. There's another one up there for the canopy, and then I have a 4-channel Light-O-Rama controller here for AC, and then another 4-channel controller up there for RGB. And then the last thing, also new this year, I had these RGB decor arches from Matos Designs, and those are pretty stout. I really like the way they look, and they diffuse the light pretty well there. So coming around the corner here then is my last controller, which is just another 16-channel AC Light-O-Rama controller, and that drives the AC lights for this half of the house. So I have another Pixie power pole here and blinder up there. So I have a tree up here and the balcony as well that you can see from the street. Up here I have the garland on the banister, the Christmas tree, the star up top, and the presents down underneath here are controlled by a Light-O-Rama 4-channel AC controller, and then there are seed pixels on the tree, as well as these floodlights down here to illuminate the walls, which are controlled, all of it's controlled in this box here. So in here I have a Light-O-Rama 4-channel AC controller and the newer Light-O-Rama Aurora controller. So the Aurora controller runs the floodlights and the seed pixel lights, and then transmits DMX signal to the 4-channel AC controller that runs the tree, the banisters, the presents, and the star. I have the TP-Link Wi-Fi extender there, and that basically takes my home Wi-Fi and allows me to be able to run this controller over the Wi-Fi, so I don't need a cable or anything. And then you can see all the power distribution up top there, which is just running through Phoenix connectors on a DIN rail. So this box runs everything up here and keeps it in sync with the show outside. So that should do it for the 2025 behind the scenes of my Christmas light show. Thanks for watching, everybody.